don't wanna be friends. I don't wanna be friends. I don't wanna be friends. I don't wanna be friends. Can we start over again? Cause I don't wanna be friends.
The only thing that I want to add is that to what Oshunfunke is saying, is sociologically. The Attorney General back in the 1960s, David Moynihan, who is also a very well-known sociologist, published the Moynihan Report, which demonized the African American community and said that, well, the problem with the African American community is that it's too matriarchal. The men depend on the women. The men are lazy, and the women are too independent.
Bullshit.
A sociologist said this, but the sociologist was focusing on. This is why when we were talking about the interpretation of statistics, rather than focusing on the different institutions and social mechanisms that cause dysfunction in the community, and trying to blame those aberrations and focus on destroying them, we want to demonize the victims of that dysfunction.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with a matriarchal society. There's nothing wrong with a patriarchal society. There's just the lack of partnership that's involved in either of those societies that's creating that sort of dysfunction.
What's wrong is a capitalistic society where people are treated like chattel slavery, like chattel. That's the problem, actually.
I like chattel is the problem, not capitalism. I like making my money.
I mean, I like making my money too, but I'm just saying realistically.
The like capitalism part is what we want to emphasize on. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, for the people that are watching, we want to emphasize like chattel, like the capitalist society that treats people like chattel. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Treats people like chattel. Yes,
that's the problem.
Yeah, and so because I don't want people to feel like they're really smart and just start saying fuck capitalism. You know what I'm saying? Because capitalism can really help us. When we're not being treated like chattel.
Like chattel.
Okay.
And what you guys have to understand.
You don't have to be treated. What she's trying to say is you don't have to be treated like chattel in your marriage by submitting. And I remember something that she told me where so there was something that she told me one time where she said, you know, Quinn, you don't need to date another millionaire if you're going to make $1 million. You don't need 2 millionaires in a relationship to be. And it made me okay with dating somebody that made less money than me. Mm-hmm. It made me very much okay with it. But I will also say a lot of queer and LGBT alphabet people in our community are trying to replicate sex roles that we cannot replicate. Okay? So emphasis on partnership.
And it's not even necessary. But you said something earlier about respect. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I went into my tirade about how, you know, the world is determined to make the black man the least respected creature on the planet. Don't you think that is, how do I say this? Don't you think that is part of a spell? Don't you think that that's part of a work that's been going on for 600 plus years? Don't you think it's mass deception?
To destroy respect?
To destroy the respect of the black man.
I think it's to destroy respect for the construct of respect, which is something that we talked about in African spirituality. I think respect is one of the first things that we learn. Respect for all things. Mm-hmm. I think that respect for the black man and respect for the black woman, I think that is in an all-time low. And I think that sometimes within our community, we throw around and target ourselves with that lack of disrespect, trying to climb over the other, trying to get ahead of the other crabs in a barrel, when really we need to respect each other, collaborate with each other, and organize ourselves as a community and realize that I hate to say this, is community versus community, not intra-community versus intra-community, if people get what I'm saying. But no, I do think that within, speaking specifically about the denigration of black masculinity, we know that this is something that we do know. Like in War, there's this poem by Warsan Shire where she says, it's called In Love and War, and she says something to the effect of, I teach my daughters, when the men come, set yourself on fire. Because in love and in war, women are the first targets. They're the first victims. We know that anytime the United States goes over into another country, the first thing that they do is rape and kill the women. So women are going to be the most targeted, the most vulnerable. But we know that we know that Europeans designed slavery to emasculate the black man. They had to invent new techniques rather than reinventing old techniques that they used to. They had to reinvent new techniques to emasculate black men.
Post-slavery, is that what you're saying?
And during slavery.
Okay.
But I do feel like there was an inherent sort of subjugation that African women experience living in an African society. I don't want to make it seem as though like all women globally have been treated equally, when there's like documented accounts where it's like, okay, there's definitely some power imbalances in that society. However, I get this is what I'm saying. It's not uncommon for you to read about what is well known.
Greetings, I'm Priestess Peach Blossom. If you would like to know more about the traditions and practices of Southern Hoodoo, you can sign up for my mentorship program at www.blackspectrumnetwork.com.
Hello everyone, and thank you all for tuning in to Black Spectrum Network, where we gave mercy to these hoes, because that's what Jesus would do.
And where we shake the table in this bitch.
If you're being fucked with, we got the smoke.
With that being said, you can get your wig snatched by going to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. If you study African history, when different ethnic groups were in conflict with each other, the first to go were the women and the children. So it's just, okay, so you don't have to design anything new to destroy them. And you capture the men and enslave them. But white men took it a step further. They had to take it a step further.
Yeah, because they wanted to keep us and keep reproducing us. But they needed the men to be under their thumb.
Exactly. The strength. But think about how long it took them. How many brainwashing inventions did they have to create to destroy black men's masculinity, to get them to be subservient? I feel like there was a...
Well, they're still being created right now. And this gorgeous platform that we're enjoying right now is one of them.
So it leads me to saying that there's a certain immortality that the concept of respect has within African spirituality. I think that there are a lot of us that are disconnected from that feeling of respect, or that just the energy of respect, but it still exists. I'm just saying that it took. I can't predict this because it didn't happen, but I feel like if this happened to another community of people, that they wouldn't have survived it. I think that they would have been eliminated 200-300 years ago.
Well, it happened to many Native American nations. They didn't survive. You have whole tribes and empires of indigenous Americans that were wiped off the map. From syphilis, rape, massacre. They attempted to enslave the indigenous people of the Americas. It just didn't work.
I was trying to keep from implicating them.
Oh.
Well, not trying to say anything by the connections that I'm making, but what I am saying is that black men are strong and black women are strong, and for Europeans and people of European descent to have had such an investment into oppressing us, but we still keep coming back. I think that respect is important. I think that... And
won't leave.
I think
Less than 5% of black people have a passport. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think that society will continue conspiring around making us not respect each other. But I hope that in this broadcast you all can think about respect. Who it is that you want to respect in your relationship. Submitting to a person that you respect. And getting a reading from us and asking, if I got with this man, can I respect him? Because then you wouldn't care about submitting.
And
I mean, y'all submit to me when you get a reading. Don't let, just because it came from me and it ain't come from your husband, don't mean it wasn't right.
For women, love is adoration and protection and provision. For men, love is respect. And that's just very basic, and we have to understand that in our communities. If you respect your man, he will love you. Men, if you adore your woman and provide for your woman, provide what you can for your woman, she will love you. You know, those are I just think that's very basic fundamental knowledge. These are things that mothers should be teaching their daughters from the age of 4 and teaching their sons from the age of 4. You know, if you think a girl is pretty, tell her. Open the door for her. Make sure she doesn't get hurt. Protect her, you know. And girls, if you like a boy, you know, be nice to him. Smile at him. Never, you know, don't say mean things to him. You know what I'm saying? These are just very basic things that I think that we're so busy trying to survive that we just gloss over if we even address them, you know. I mean, a mother these days is more likely to tell her daughter, you know, niggas ain't shit, get your, you know, get good grades and get you a good job. Versus, you know what I'm saying?
I get, so to expound on that, women that have respect for a man, okay, find a man that you have respect for. Mm-hmm. Because then you can give him respect. You can't give what you don't have.
What you don't have. That's absolutely
so
true.
Get out of those relationships where you don't respect a man.
Thank you.
And you'll be much less offended by what Fantasia had to say.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you're in a situation and you're with a man and you don't respect him, you don't respect his judgment, you don't respect how he makes his money or the way he handles his money, how you could never imagine allowing him to lead because you don't respect his judgment. So if you find yourself in that was so brilliant what you said. You need to leave that relationship because you can't give what you don't have. Absolutely.
And when you hear what Fantasia has to say, you think about all the times that you were...
It sounds preposterous.
Like, how could I have submitted to Man,
mm-hmm.
who watched that video of me get my ass whooped, shared it,
yeah,
and had nothing to say,
and asked me why I ain't ducked.
Are women today acting like niggas, like Fantasia said?
A lot of them, yeah, absolutely, a lot of them. Mm-hmm.
Hit the skull emoji if you think women today are acting like niggas. I'm not hitting the skull emoji.
You disagree?
Yeah.
You don't think that women are acting like men? Okay.
I don't think that. All I'm saying is, when I think of, after being in Haiti, I don't see no difference between. I don't see a difference. I think that there's a. I don't understand what she was talking about. I guess if she's talking about, you know, when you're disappointed and you act out of anger and perhaps your mannerisms are very masculine and, you know, you're embodying a sort of defiant masculinity, sure. But I don't know what I really don't know what exact, because I mean, break that down for me. Like, what does that actually look like? Like, are we talking about a woman that's an independent woman? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Is that acting like a nigga?
We're talking about women that are independent and masculine. You know, I did a reading, not to plug, I wish I had posted this video in advance.
Well, why don't you just talk about it, because you'll know when this is coming out.
Okay. So, yes. So, I have done a reading where, and it's on my channel, Priestess Oshun Funke on YouTube, and it's the ancestors speak on masculinity and femininity. It's very, very interesting, and you guys need to watch that video. And the ancestors are talking about how women are powerful. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. But men are also powerful, and women are needed to nurture and grow and teach future generations, and men are needed to protect and provide for them. And that's just very basic. We don't even do that. Okay, we don't even have that part down, because the women in our communities are so busy working, like men, and I'm sorry, I work, okay? I own several businesses and I make my own money, absolutely. But I am still a submissive woman, and I'm still a woman who recognizes, wants, and needs a man, and I don't have any problem saying that. I don't have any problem saying that because I need a man. I was built for a man. Look at me. I think women have gotten so caught up and so busy earning and learning and working and surviving that they have forgotten that that's not the way it's supposed to be. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you can't do it, but it's not ideal. You're so busy working in some man's corporation, making money for him and his family so that his wife can stay home and prep meals for him so he doesn't get diabetes, and homeschool their children and take them to horseback riding lessons and take them to French class and teach their daughters how to cook, that you're not doing those things for your own children. You're relying on the public fucking school system to raise your children and some shitty ass after school program to keep them safe until you get home from work at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then you only have time to pop something in the microwave and put them in the bed and do it all over again the next morning. That's not living. That's not the way it's intended to be. We're not raising our children, and instead we're working for people so that their wives can stay home and be stay-at-home moms and raise their kids so they continue to have a leg up over us. One generation after the next, after the next. Do you understand what I'm saying? The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world, and we're paying some girl. We're paying fucking some child care center to pay some girl $8.50 an hour to rock our babies' cradles.
I get what you're saying, but none of that's, and I agree with you that those things happen.
And so that's why we can't get ahead.
But that doesn't support the thesis of women acting like a nigga. That just sounds like a woman being an average American. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't agree with that statement. I agree with what you're saying. I don't agree that women are acting like a nigga.
So,
but I want to say that if you are a woman, let me talk about some of the more periphery arguments. If you're working at after school program, you know your after school program is shitty, come and get a reading from me. Because your after school program is supposed to be serving the community. I do agree with everything that you're saying. But I also want to talk about how inadequate our support systems are in our community, and the people, if you know it's your destiny to work with kids to help somebody else out that's in a situation like she talked about, you need to call me. Because I don't think it's anything, I do think it's something wrong with that situation. I don't think it's anything wrong with how that person's responding to it.
Right, she's doing what she got to do.
But I do want that public school system to be strengthened. I want all of those teachers to be better paid. I would like for them to have a destiny. I would like for them to feel like those students are their children and not just their students. I would like for them to accept responsibility for raising them during the 8 hours that they're there and going above and beyond to educate them. I did that as a college professor. I'm just saying. I played parent. And so, but I don't think any of those things are acting like a nigga.
Well, I think that what she meant by that was the fact that a lot of women get so caught up in the success that they've been able to garner on their own that they are it makes women more masculine. I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, when I'm with my man and we go anywhere, I don't care if it's the corner store, or a restaurant or the mall, I don't even reach for my purse. Not because I don't have any money, but because I wasn't raised like that, and because I'm with my man, why should I have to? Now, that doesn't mean that I won't do for him and I won't buy things for him, or that we're not even spending from the same pool of money. It's just my role. This Nat is about to drive me crazy. It's just my role as where I feel comfortable as a woman. My husband is going to pay for that. You know, my man is gonna pay our bills. You know, is going to pay.
But is it?
And so if I walk into a restaurant with my man and I'm asking the waiter, can I get the check? That's masculine. Does this register what I'm saying?
I see all
and women are doing that because they don't know any better, really. that either they don't know any better or.
But what about the men that allow it because they don't know any better?
It's all fucked up. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, but I don't think that women are acting like a nigga.
What she should have said is a lot of these men are acting like bitches because they are. Because they are.
I think that
I went to dinner with my husband one time. Stop looking at my boobs. And the waiter put the check down in front of me. And my husband went nuts. He like scolded her. He was like, "Why would you give my wife the check? What are you doing?" He took that, it offended him so much. It offended the fuck out of him.
I think that, what I'm saying is I don't think that women are acting like niggas, and I don't think niggas are acting like bitches. I think that a lot of people are mispartnered. I think a lot of people are in the wrong relationships, and they're angry. And the first thing they want to say is you acting too much like a man, and you acting like a bitch. And I think
But you don't think that it's possible that that's what's actually happening?
No, I think that you're mispartnered, and I think that you don't have respect for the person that you're with, or you don't adore the person that you're with. All I'm saying is this: if I did a reading for you, and the reading says that you're not supposed to be with this person, and you end up with somebody else, and you practice those same behaviors, and it works out in your relationship, then what's the problem? What I'm saying is,
you're not gonna fix our families that way.
You yourself have said people need to partner with people.
I do agree with
that you need to strategically partner with people who fill in as many gaps of weakness as possible.
I guess what I'm saying,
and if you are a woman that makes a lot more money than a man, and you are emasculating him because he makes less money than you, you need to get out of that relationship because you're an awful person.
You do.
Because that's an awful reason to emasculate someone.
You do. That's true. I agree. But what I don't want to do is make accommodations for dysfunction. I'd rather stamp out the dysfunction and the symptoms of it. Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't understand what I'm saying. Are you saying that I'm accommodating dysfunction?
I think that in a way, yeah. I think that in a way, that would be an accommodation of dysfunction if we're saying that the black man is becoming more effeminate. And this has nothing to do with sexual orientation, preference, or any of that. Just simply saying that the black man is becoming more effeminate. And you're saying, well, then he should be with a more masculine woman.
No, I'm saying that he should be with a woman that's more feminine than him.
Well, then that does make sense. Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that makes sense, but I guess I just keep going back to the targeted destruction of the black family. I want to fix that.
I'll make you feel better by saying this. Young people need to be raised. They need to be raised and taught how to date, what to look for. Okay? And they need to be told what a dysfunctional relationship looks like, how to avoid it, so that you're not like Fantasia sitting on the Breakfast Club and after dealing with a married man that worked at T-Mobile.
Oh, God.
That you're now saying that, niggas act like bitches, and sometimes I have acted like a nigga. And now that I have listened to my pastor and I become an evolved woman, I know how to submit to a man I respect.
I don't think that Fantasia said anything wrong.
I don't think she said anything wrong.
Wrong.
It's wrong because I can't. When she said that women are acting like niggas, she was essentially talking about women's responses to their disappointment.
Right. Absolutely.
That's not what you were talking about.
But I feel her on that, though.
I understand what you're saying.
I still understand that perspective. That's not where I would go with it. But I do understand that perspective because I think the black woman is utterly heartbroken.
I agree with that.
My heart broke as I watched those girls get beat down at that gas station. My heart broke, and I was angry at every black man in the city of Pittsburgh. I'm mad at all of them. Because why were those women unprotected? And if they could not be protected in that moment because of logistics, they should have been vindicated and protected after the fact, retroactively with action. I'm upset with every man in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh or wherever the fuck it happened at.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying. I just think that you have a very sanitized interpretation of what Fantasia had to say, and I don't think that she was thinking as deeply as you were. I don't think y'all are saying the same things. I think that Fantasia has been in situations where low vibrational moment. I think that Fantasia is talking about low vibrational instances of women acting like niggas, and I think that you were talking about things that can resonate and be a lot less offensive to black women. I don't think it's the same message. Or maybe it's the same message and you're just articulating it in a better way because people on our chat were offended by what she had to say at first, and now they're all agreeing with you.
I can't read the chat. It's too far away.
Well.
And what's wrong with T-Mobile? What's wrong with that man working at T-Mobile? See, that's what I don't like. Because if he works at T-Mobile...
I said he was a married man working at T-Mobile.
Okay. All right.
How he gonna provide for you and his wife and his kids at T-Mobile?
Okay.
You set yourself up
But she didn't need his money, though. She didn't need his money. And that's what she was talking about. You know, it was hard for her finding a partner that could get into the groove of her being a high earner and still be a man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't think she needed his money either. Actually, yes, she probably did because she was talking about how she didn't make that much money.
Then, I want to kill this gnat. I might have to slap you upside your head.
Oh God. You know, she didn't need his money. You know, she was her own entertainer. She could have easily put a single out on fucking iTunes and made $800 because 800 people would have bought it for $1. You're right, but you know, he was married, unavailable.
I mean, that's a whole nother. I mean, right.
So of course you're gonna act like a nigga. I would act like a nigga too if I was dealing with a married man. I'm gonna act like a nigga. Mm-hmm. Bitch, I am that nigga. And she should have. The marriage was that, bitch, that wasn't gonna work.
She got sued by that man's wife too, remember?
I absolutely, mm-hmm. Under that North Carolina infidelity clause. See, y'all gotta be, and the fact that now, I don't know what happened with the lawsuit, but the fact that it could have potentially happened means that Fantasia conspired. She thought about what she was doing before it happened. She knew he was married. That ain't neither here nor there.
I was gonna say, child.
That's neither here nor there. So what's your magical prescription for the situations that we're talking about right now?
Which one are we talking about? Okay, so my magical prescription for
the black community.
Yeah. Gosh, I just don't know where to start.
Tell us in the comments what y'all's magical prescription would be.
So the first thing I want to prescribe, Lord.
And hit the skull emoji if you're enjoying the show.
For the black man, I need to get him, he needs a money bath, first of all. He needs a money bath. He needs a bath to create opportunities, to earn more money. He also needs a bath for protection to protect those opportunities, okay? He's going to need some work for clear sight so that the opportunities that he seeks, he is able to thoroughly look into them and to assess them. Yeah, so that he doesn't get himself into a worse situation trying to make money. And then, you know, we need a bath, maybe even a bath oil spray combo. Okay, he needs a whole toiletry kit centered around increasing his masculinity and his instinct to provide and protect. Okay. Then on the other hand, we need to do the same thing for the women. You know, for the woman, I'm going to prescribe a series of candles that I'm going to need her to burn that are going to help her to become more industrious, so that she can seek opportunities, unique opportunities that are going to be absolutely accommodating to her family, so that she won't have to work such long hours away from her children, so that she can spend more time actually actively hands-on raising her children. She's going to need a bath, a nice little soak to help her with her femininity, to help her tap into that divine feminine, to really help her channel the energy of the ancestors, so that she can learn how to work with her man to convince and coerce him of things that, you know, need to happen going forward, so that she can be softer and more respectful. What else? I mean, I think that's a good start. What you got?
The dead has arisen. All right. So, my prescription for this situation is that I would... my prescription for the situation is to alter time and go back to the mid 1400s and kill the ancestor or the originator of any slave owner, so that none of this shit could have ever been set up in the first place. Being that that's not really possible, I'm encouraging those of you all that are watching this broadcast that feel that you are in an unequally yoked relationship, no matter your gender identity, to contact me at blackspectrumnetwork.com and get a reading, so we can get you out your shitty ass relationship and get you with a partner that's more equally yoked to you. And then I'm going to prescribe you, and if you want to stay in your unequally yoked relationship, I can prescribe some things to you to help make your relationship better. It won't be temporary. It will be long lasting. Just make sure that it's what you want. Because I think you've taken the words right out of my mouth with everything. You know, the money bath for black men. Niggas need a money bath. Us niggas need some money, okay? Us niggas need some money. I'm trying to think of some broke ass shit that has happened to me with a broke nigga. Actually, it ain't happened in a minute. Well, other than that goddamn...
Broke niggas make me sneeze. They give me flu-like symptoms. God.
I ain't dealing with a broke... Well, he wasn't broke. He just worked... He just worked at First Watch. All right, so we're about to move into our next segment of the show. You ready?
Why I'm worried about what you'll have to say. What you'll have to say. When I confess to you that I'm feeling some type of way. Some type of way. If I could do it all over, just start again. Baby, I would have never been just your friend. If I could start all over, get a second chance, I would have listened to my heart and made you my man. Cause I don't wanna be friends. I don't wanna be friends. I don't wanna be friends.